Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, coming at you with the second game from the main MSL that I was going to cast. This is going to be Jangbi, my favorite player, and stats in a PvP on Match Point, which I think is one of Jangbi's better maps. And before we start here, I just wanted to say thank you to Molechap. I recently discovered that he's been giving me random shoutouts and telling people to watch my videos whenever I cast games he doesn't and things like that. So for all of you guys who've come over from Molechap's videos, welcome, and yeah, thanks a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying these commentaries, and I am working on the video and sound issues. There's some random stuff that's popped up recently, and yeah, pretty much I can't render properly. If you go to the previous game, Flash vs. Zero, I kind of talk about it at the beginning just a little bit, and I'll post what I did here in the video description on these two videos. Well, I don't know how many parts this is, however many parts this is, the video as well, just to see if you guys can, if someone can help me out a little bit. But Jangbi versus Stats. We've got Jangbi in the bottom left and Stats in the top right. Jangbi looks like a baller. Stats just doesn't, because Stats, I don't like Stats and I like Jangbi, so that's pretty much the only reason I say that. But I did a little write-up on this series actually for SVCD, and pretty much what I discovered in looking at these two players is Stats is all smoke and mirrors. Stats looks like he's got a great winning percentage. He's 55% overall. He's got like 54%, 56% versus Protoss. It's pretty. He's got winning records in almost all of his matchups. And then you look at it and he hasn't really beaten anyone worth talking about at all. His best PvP win was versus Jaehoon. Jaehoon! It doesn't even count. Whereas Jangbi beats, like, you know, he's beaten Best and Stork and Bisu and Cal, etc. He's beaten like everyone, and so yeah, this is pretty much, I think, a pretty. I personally, I think this is a pretty lopsided matchup favoring Jangbi. I think Jangbi run away with this series. I don't think it's even going to be very close. I think he's going to win 2-0, and I don't think either game is really even going to go to the late game or anything like that. I think it's just going to be pretty much Jangbi stomping on Stats, just because he's the better player. He knows PvP better than Stats does. That's just a matter of fact, really. And we see both players just playing very standard. Both of them actually skipping their initial Zealots, going for that earlier Cybernetics core. Stats probably just trying to get a tech advantage, and Jangbi being, hey, I don't need it. I can beat you without it. And that's pretty much what it boils down to. And Stats just trying to be a little bit of a nuisance here, manipulating the gas for Jangbi, and Jangbi's doing the same thing back to Stats, just trying to mess with each other a little bit. Neither of them are really going to have too much success, but pretty much if you don't get that initial Zealot, this is pretty much what you can do for a little while, just be a pain in the butt, and until the new Zealots come out. It looks like Jangbi does have a Zealot out. I'm sure Stats does as well, or maybe not. Stats skipped the Zealot completely, going straight for a Dragoon, which is interesting. Usually you don't see that too much in pro PvP, skipping the Zealot entirely, just because if your opponent does go for that Zealot and send it to your base, Dragoons take so long to kill a Zealot that Zealot will probably either disrupt mining for a while, or it's going to get like 2 probe kills, and that is not good if you to absorb that. Looks like Stats does have his Dragoon out now, though, so he's going to be able to usher away this probe. This probe is probably going to die very, very shortly. It looked like one of the Dragoon shots actually missed, and as far as I know, there's no higher ground inside the main, so I'm kind of confused as to how that one happened, or if it was just a trick of the eye. But yeah, that was kind of entertaining. And Stats saying, hey, I don't have a chance at winning. I'm going to be a nub. I'm going to go for DTs. Oh, Jangbi, don't do the same thing. Now he's going to make people think that I think you're a nub too, when really you're just awesome. And Jangbi's going to go for DTs too. Both of them are going to go for DTs. Whoever sees it first and gets up their Forge and cannons better, more properly, is probably going to win. And right now it looks like Jangbi, because Jangbi's on the offensive with his Zealot and his Dragoon, and he's going to have proxy gateways. Yeah, Jangbi going for proxy gateways, so his DTs might actually be there earlier. So yeah, that could actually end up being the trick that does it. And looks like Stats is going to try and take an expansion there with this probe. Could be dangerous to do that when there's a Dragoon coming to that base. If that Dragoon can get all the way into the base and see the Citadel, it is GG. But another Dragoon has been produced. Should be able to stop that Zealot from seeing anything, and it's going to be close, and the Zealot goes down. Zealot goes down, so it doesn't get to see the Templar Archives. Both players getting the Templar Archives pretty much at the same time. I think Jangbi's is just slightly ahead. He's got 1 proxy gateway, so he's just going to produce 1 DT out of that. A lot of times you'll see double proxy gateways, but not from Jangbi, not this time, just 1. And it looks like Stats has gone for his expansion, whereas Jangbi has not. Jangbi has not thrown down his expansion yet. Instead, he's produced a couple extra Dragoons. And he should be producing DTs out of both these gateways. Probably going to be throwing up an expansion as we speak. And a Forge coming up for Stats. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. I'm a little bit concerned now that that Jangbi might actually... No, can't happen. Jangbi can't lose this. Jangbi can't lose this to Stats. I'm a little bit concerned, though, for sure, that that Stats has that Forge up already, so he can get some cannons up pretty early. He might be able to get some detection and stop these DTs. And there's the Forge. How long is it going to take until a cannon comes up? We've got DT out for... we got a couple cannons coming up at the natural. We got a DT out for Stats as well. And Jangbi is just running right by the cannons, going straight to the main. And Jangbi blocking off his main with double Forge. Jangbi, that is so awesome. Jangbi just blocking off his base. So DTs are not going to be able to get in there, and he'll be able to throw up cannons behind it, certainly in time. We got 3 more Dragoons and another DT coming out for Jangbi. Going to put on some more pressure. And there's no mining going on at the main. All the probes have been transferred to the natural. So this is a really tough spot for Stats for sure. Couple DTs and a couple Dragoons pushing on his base right now, and he's restricted to his natural expansion, and that is just bad. He might even lose his main nexus if he isn't careful. And these double Forges should be enough as long as he can get a cannon up behind him. He's getting cannons up at his inside of his main mineral line. Probably also going to throw up one at his choke as well. He'd be well off to do that. Then that probe just running away so it doesn't die. So this is all the forces that Jangbi really has for the attack. He's getting up a robo as well, going to get some observers out, and it looks like Jangbi's going to be able to take down this nexus of Stats. Stats not really doing anything to even like try and protect it. Not even like throwing up cannons in random spots or anything. Just going to absorb the loss of that nexus and thinks he's going to win one base to one base where he doesn't have his tech, because that DT is going to kill your Templar Archives next, and or your Forge, you tard Stats, because that DT, if you don't do anything about it, I don't see any robo coming up for you either, unless there's something at the natural expansion that's just not going to work for you. And one of the Forges has gone down. There's the robo. Okay, so maybe he's not completely tartalicious, but he is losing pylons now, and if that Templar Archives and that Gateway and that Forge and that Citadel, all of it's going to go unpowered very shortly, and he's going to have to rebuild these pylons, and it's just a really bad spot right now for Stats, and Stats is pretty much sitting here outside at the natural expansion of Jangbi, picking off at a pylon because he can't really get into the base because there's cannons waiting for him. So, yeah, Jangbi pretty much has this at this point. As long as he just plays normal, just plays his game, he should get this. Taking down pylons, gonna force him to rebuild them, and yeah, for a little while there, I don't think Stats could even produce. I'm not even sure if he can produce right now, just because he's lost several pylons and he's had to reproduce a gateway at his natural expansion as well as producing another pylon. I suspect that he can't really produce much of anything. He's got a High Templar out, losing another pylon, and it looks like here comes a probe trying to throw up a pylon, just pretty much wasting that DT's time. That's about all he can really hope to do. And now we've got a observer out for Jangbi, so he's going to be able to clear away the DT inside of his base and take his natural expansion, and that is probably going to be a nail in the coffin for Stats. And Stats is trying to get up a couple pylons here, going to try and get a cannon up, hopefully, and at least that's the hope. And he's actually bringing in an observer, so probably this DT will kill a DT, which is always entertaining when that happens. I've had it done to me, and it's pretty funny when a DT kills a DT. I just think it's funny. Just the ninja fights where one ninja can't see the other. One ninja is better than that ninja, and we got some DTs coming in here, picking off 3 probes, losing one of the DTs for Jangbi. But, yeah, once again, Jangbi just doing a little bit more economic harassment. Gonna have a second base up and running very shortly. And Stats has been forced to bring probes off the line, not gonna be mining, just in case to defend. And here comes that DT again into Stats' base. Stats was unable to track it with the observer, and that is just like SC101. Absolutely have to do it. You've got to be able to trace that DT no matter what the circumstances are, and he wasn't able to do so, so taking another probe loss there. And it looks like Jangbi is going to come in with some Dragoons, going to pick off one of the cannons. The DT for Jangbi did eventually go down there, by the way. The DT for Stats doing a good job. And now the DT's coming in for Jangbi as well. Going to try and take down all the cannons. All the cannons are down. One is warping in, but that is not really going to be enough. Stats is going down here. Going to lose he has no real weapons right now. He's got a couple of Stormers, but I don't think they have even... There's the Storm. So he's going to get a couple Storms off, and hopefully that'll be enough for him to save it, but not going to be enough. Still 4 Dragoons, and now Jangbi's just going to have to micro around, and he should be okay if he chooses to micro. Not even choosing to really micro. Just letting the probes come at him, and it doesn't even matter. He's streaming sending Dragoons in. This is GG, folks. Stats just doesn't realize it because he's in a Star League, and possibly because he's is a foreigner to Star Leagues. He's trying to stay alive as long as he can. It doesn't matter. There's GG from Stats. Jangbi takes the win. As I predicted, Jangbi will get this win. Hopefully one more win on whatever the other map is. I don't even remember what the order of maps is. Probably Ultimatum? Nope. Odd Eye. Odd Eye is next, and then Fighting Spirit if somehow Stats wins on Odd Eye. So that's it for today, folks. Probably going to do the OSL either tonight or tomorrow as well. Going to take care of Zero and Calm in those series as well, so look out for that. Hopefully I'll be able to fix up my rendering issues so like the video audio doesn't suck like it has been in that last series. I apologize for that. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. GG, guys. Deja Vu signing out.